Hi there, today's review is of a game that's a sequel to an arcade game, but it's an exclusive to the Famicom and later the NES, and the game is called Mappy-Land. It's a sequel to the arcade game Mappy. Let's take a look at the fact file. Mappy-Land was released in 1986 in Japan. It was also released in the USA on the NES a few years later, published by Namco and developed by Toze or Toze. The price I paid was £4. And the going rate on eBay for a loose copy is around about £5, a box copy about £10 plus. So nothing else to look at as I've got no packaging for the game, so let's look at the game. So here's the title screen for the game. Nothing too spectacular there. It says Mappy-Land, got a high score, some copyright info, and it very quickly goes into a demo of the game, so let's use this as an opportunity to show how the game works. It's quite similar to the original Mappy arcade game. But Mappy can now move up and down ladders, which you can see on the screen there, and also can jump, and he has to jump to collect the cheese on each level. That's those yellowy objects, triangular objects that you can see around. Each level's a bit different. There's one that's on show obviously at the moment, it's got a train on it, there's various scenarios, and there's also objects that can be used within the level to try and eliminate the enemies and also get more points. Here's another level being demonstrated now. As you can see, you've got in later levels moving platforms, vines to climb and all kinds of stuff like that. So let's get on and play the game. So as I mentioned, movement left and right. He jumps on the trampolines just like he did in the original game. You've also got one button jumps and the other button can also drop some flags, which if you can get them in the right place, you can stop the enemies from getting you, and they kind of hover around there like you can see. That allows you to block them in certain places and deploy things on each level. They do vary from level to level, so the ones on this level are like a kind of a slidey zip line which you can slide along and knock things over with, and you get points for knocking things over. Fairly simplistic graphics. Mappy looks a bit different than he did in the arcade game, not quite as cute in fact. The cats, which are your enemies, look pretty much identical to how they did in the original arcade game. Yeah, missed that there. Set off a steam coming from the train there, but missed getting actually any enemies. And after a while you get the time speeding up. Time to eliminate that, and you make your way to the end of the level on the right hand side, and that's the first level completed. So that was the music speeding up as the time starts to run out. There's other objects to pick up which I'm not entirely sure what they are. There's like a little sort of oval thing with some stripes on which I picked up on the last stage. I have absolutely no clue what that does. On this level you've got sort of punch bags that you can hit, and they swing from side to side for a small amount of time and allow you to do damage to the enemies. The more enemies you get like a multiplier. It's 1,000 for each cat that you hit. Unless it's the main cat, you get 5,000 for him. Oops, and there goes a life, so I wasn't paying attention. So this is supposed to be Wild West Town, I believe. This is another one of those things I was talking about. I'm just going to pick that up and I'm just going to drop it straight away. I honestly don't know what it does. Oh, it makes the big cat, who's immune to most of the objects you can deploy, it actually makes him stop, so that's a useful thing to know. You don't get any choice over what way you drop these items though, so you do have to be careful. If you drop the wrong one, you could end up in trouble. I think that's pretty much that level complete. There's one thing I can do, which is hit that punch bag and get one more thing destroyed with that, and away we go to the next level. So far pretty simplistic. The graphics are fairly basic and very ugly in the stage of this case of this level. I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be, like totem poles or something. We're in some kind of African village, to guess. The music's quite jolly on each level, nothing again spectacular to write home about. It's all pretty basic stuff, but it's a nice little addictive game found myself replaying it quite a lot. Oh, that wasn't very well timed. There goes another life. On this level you've got bombs which when you jump at them they drop on the floor, and then the next thing that hits them blows up. So let's just see if we can do some damage there with this one. There you go, it flies up into the air and gives me 1,000 points. Obviously the aim is to get as many things as possible with these. It does have some of the frustrations of the original arcade game where you can sometimes get trapped with a cat coming from each side and no way to escape. Of course you have got these extra items that you can drop which help. Come on, someone get that bomb. There we go, there's another one we got rid of. That's pretty much it again for the level. Just got one more to get rid of there, and away we go to the next stage. Not too challenging, but it does get more challenging, and this is where it does start to get a little bit more difficult, because as you saw in the preview, you now get moving platforms which you have to time your drops onto or jumps onto, otherwise you might end up in the water and die. That went okay. Oh, sometimes that happens, you just drop off the side of it and there's nothing you can do about it. That's actually game over. So I'll play through again and try and get to that point again and show a little bit further in the game. So I'm back on level 4 with a couple of lives. At 40,000 points you beat the high score and you also get an extra life, so that's useful. Those fish, by the way, you can collect, which I just managed to do handily. Again, there's something you can drop that distract other creatures on the screen. It's a bit tricky, I've got to get up to that cheese somehow. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Again, this is the worst level because it's so easy to drop off the edge of those platforms. Okay, that was better. Here you've got to avoid this native guy, I think. I don't know what happens if you drop a thing at the top here. Nothing at all. So you've got to get down here to get the piece of cheese and then get back up. Precarious there, but I think that's pretty much the end of the level now. Yeah. So that's the end of the 4th level. Just the 1 life left, so I'll get as far as I can. This level's set on a pirate ship, and again you've got some cheese to collect. And on this one everything's worth times 5 points for some reason. I'm just going to hang around here, because you can spin around on this thing and get things above and below you, which is kind of useful. Don't know how long they last though, so you have to be a little bit careful. But this level's remarkably easy compared to the last level, which is a bit unbalanced in that respect. Sometimes I can't even get off the first level. You do have these moments where things come and get you and you can't do anything about it. That was useful, lots of points from that. That looks to have been a waste. There's one bit of cheese over the left hand side I think that I haven't got yet. So I've got to be a little bit careful here. Oh, that was a mess. Oh, I can just go up there now. I think I should be safe now. Yeah, that's another level completed. That didn't go too badly in the end. I've got quite a nice score now. And things really change on this level now because you're now armed with a little gun that zap these ghosts that come towards you. Ah. And the cat's like a little mummy. This is a bit tricky now. Oh, that's it. That's going to be game over now. It's a bit of a shame. I wanted to show that level a little bit more. Maybe I'll have one more go. So I'm back on the ghost level. I've got lots more lives, a bit less score because I abandoned the levels a lot quicker just to try and get a bit further in the game. So you can jump on this balloon and that allows you to hover up in the air, collect things up in the air and avoid things as best you can. Ooh. More by luck than judgment sometimes. I think I can now get into here. Seemingly not. I must have to get all the keys first. So there's sort of multiple stages, multiple parts to this level, which is very different to all the preceding levels. Oh, that was close. I think now I've got all the keys I can go into the church. There we go. Which then turns into a standard sort of Mappy style level. There are some fish to pick up here which you can use like a weapon, I think. Yeah, that kind of knocks them a bit silly. Horrible graphics on this stage, way too much white, which just makes it horrible to look at. But the idea of the level is simply to get the cross there and then get out. Now I've got the cross, I can escape the level. By taking it somewhere. Maybe? Yeah. Oh yeah, the cat turns his back there and I can escape to the next stage. So a little bit different there, a bit of variety, and it does continue with a bit more variety on subsequent levels as well, though this one looks very similar. As you can see, you can now hit the cats from the level below. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, missed the highest scoring one there. By hitting those little poles underneath. This one's very brightly coloured sky. Oh, that was rubbish. What was I doing there? Brightly coloured sky on this one. Quite horrible to look at again. The graphics are definitely not the best that the Famicom has to offer. Music's nice though, I think. And overall it's a nice sort of follow-up to the... Oh, what's going on here? I've no idea. Oh, I just got completely ganged up on there. That didn't work at all. And there goes another life. Oh, God! That's a disaster. All I've got to do is get to the end of this stage and I'm done. That was awful. The enemies get a bit more aggressive, as you could probably work out, and that's why I'm having a bit of a disaster trying to get past them. I've still got one life left. So we'll see one more stage, which will probably then kill me off. That was really awful. So again, we've got the cheese to collect as usual. On this level you can drop these balls which roll, assuming they're cannonballs, they roll along the ground towards the enemies. Gotta be very careful here. It's not going too badly so far actually. Oh, there's a cheese there. I think that's all of them, so with a bit of luck I might be able to wipe a few out and get to the next stage. Except nothing wants to come this way and let me roll this cannonball at it. It's a bit of a shame I couldn't get... What happened there? Oh, I've gone somewhere else. I'm in a castle, I assume, now. I wasn't expecting that to happen. This is as far as I've got in the game, in fact. Oh, what's that at the top there? Maybe this is like the end of the first stage, first overall stage of the game, so what happened? Oh, okay, you were supposed to get to the lady in a certain amount of time, and now it's back to the beginning, but now instead of collecting cheese I'm collecting rings, and I'm assuming it's more difficult as well. Oh, well that was unexpected. I didn't realise I was supposed to get to my love interest within a certain amount of time, and I blew it basically. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, and that's it, that's game over. A little bit disappointing to mess up the end of it there, but at least that's a full cycle of levels before it goes back to the beginning. Not a bad game, not a pretty game by any means. Music's quite nice, sounds quite nice. It's just an extension of the original arcade game, probably a little bit more fun than the original arcade game. Quite addictive as well, and a good high score challenge. There's lots of little ways to try and increase your high score, so overall quite a nice little game which I'll definitely be keeping.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
2, 1, 0.